This right here is the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I'm here to tell you exactly why I'll be picking up this drone again in 2022, and I will not be considering buying the Mavic 3. If this is something that you are into, then stick around. Let's figure this out. The Mavic 2 Zoom has been in the system for close to 3 to 4 years now as at the time of making this video, and just some few months ago the Mavic 3 was also released into the system, and this has added up to all the giant list of drones which are in the system. And I know probably when you want to get your very first drone, sometimes you will get confused with all the plethora of drones that DJI has to offer, right from the low range to the mid range and to the professional level. Now, don't get it twisted. These days, I feel like companies throw the word pro around most of the times when something is not really pro. I feel like the newly released Mavic 3 drone, it's kind of more directed at, let me say, high-end productions or high-end professionals. And for me, what sets that drone apart from this Mavic 2 Zoom is just the flight time and a much more reliable acquisition system, which I think is even very debatable because all the time that I've used this drone, it has never truly disappointed me. The only major difference between this is just going to be the camera. The Mavic 3 drone comes in stock with 2 other cameras at the front, and that makes it much more preferable for some people. And because it's a 1-inch sensor as well, it will do well in low light, at least on paper. I don't know how practical that will be, but I don't know for you. If you look at the price difference between the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 3, then it makes sense that if you are not really into high-end production, and don't get it twisted, I've used this for, let me say, a little bit of, I wouldn't say total high-end productions, but I've used this on bigger production platforms before, where I've used this to even shoot some drone footage in some circumstances and tried kind of matching it up with my Blackmagic Awesome Mini Pro. So this is a drone that is packed with a lot, and one of the main reasons why I like this drone so much, it's the zoom. The zoom in this drone is certainly one of the selling points of this drone, and trust me, this isn't a gimmick. Most competitors or most drones around this kind of price range which kind of advertise zoom features, they never truly zoom like the way this particular drone does. So trust me, that is something to have. And so if you're a beginner and you're looking for a very good drone, this can be a very good way of getting cinematic shots, because at the end of the day, it's not about flying too high. You have to fly close to objects. But if you're also new into the drone system, then I also advise that for safety's sake, you don't fly too close to objects. And that is where this kind of drone comes in, because it will offer you the opportunity to be able to stay at a safe distance and zoom into the subject. And the other major thing is it offers you the ability to be able to do those smooth parallax shots, where because of the focal length, when you zoom into the subject, it compresses the background, and so the foreground kind of moves slower while the background moves faster, and that makes for a really very good cinematic shots. And that is the reason why I'll still be keeping this drone, and I will not be buying the Mavic 3 Zoom. And if I'm likely to buy another extra drone in 2022 or 2023, I'm likely to once again stock my bag with one of these, because this bad boy, it's really truly just amazing. And like I said, this particular drone is over 3 years old. Ever since I got it, I've never crashed this drone before. But prior to this, I actually used the original Mavic Pro, and that particular Mavic Pro, I crashed it so many times. So by the time I actually got this drone, I was kind of a professional, because I was already flying for close to, let me say, 5 years, 5-6 years before I kind of got this particular drone. So by the time this drone came in, I was kind of like a pro, and I wouldn't tell lies, I haven't really risked so much with this drone, because I didn't make up my mind I was going to buy any drone within that particular time of the year. Those are the major things that I like about this drone. Now, to those things that I don't really like, it doesn't really affect my flight time, but the construction of this drone, I feel like there are some really little minuscule fundamental flaws with the folding system. And so when you want to fold it, just look at this, then it begins to hit here. You realize it? You have to push it this way for it to fall inside. So eventually it begins to create lots of scratches around the drone. And as you can see, just even the front camera, if you look closely over here, we have lots of scratches, as you can see. Meanwhile, like I said, this drone is usually very packed in the bag and there isn't much going on, but I still have some scratches going on here. And as you can see, I always have the protector on, but still it still manages to scratch. And for me, it's because DJI was kind of a little bit in a rush, or let me say they couldn't really get the calculations right to make enough space for some of these things. As you can see, even the protector itself has managed to scratch the drone in so many ways. And so that is it. The other thing I don't really like about this drone is, just wait, let me show you. Now just look at this construction. Both of these sides are using the same kind of locking mechanism. One is a dummy one and one is the actual side that contains the SD card. Now let's open and see. This is a right one. It contains the SD card. Let's open here and see. This is a dummy one. And as you can see, there isn't anything indicating outside the drone where the memory card goes in. So sometimes you have to try your luck, or you just have to get used to it. And even if you get used to it, trust me, sometimes you will still make that same mistake. Unless you open this before you know whether the memory card goes into here or it goes into the other side. And that is certainly one of the things I don't really like about this drone. Now the final major thing I don't like about this drone is this obstacle avoidance, this side obstacle avoidance. Now DJI markets this to people as having 360 degrees obstacle avoidance, and for those of you who don't know what this does, is that it prevents the drone from being, or the drone from getting crashed. We have we have a sensor here, we have a sensor this way at the top, at the front. So virtually, in theory, you shouldn't be able to crash this drone because it has all the sensors around. But the truth is that these side sensors do not actually work when you are flying the drone in normal mode. It only works if you are using active track or any of the intelligent features that will require the drone to fly to the side. That is the only point in time where the side sensors are activated. But DJI markets this to the public as if at all point in time the 360 degree obstacle avoidance is at work. And that for me, I think is a total bummer. Now, before I end this video, let me show you another major thing I don't like. This is a remote controller, and let me try fixing in my mobile phone right here. Now my mobile phone has a case on it. Let's see. And it becomes totally impossible to push this phone inside because of the case. So to put this inside, you have to totally take off the case. Let me show you. So I have to take off the case completely, and so that I'll be able to plug in the phone directly to the system. And that for me, I think shouldn't be so. And that for me can be very annoying sometimes. Before you put in your phone to fly the drone, it means at all point in time you have to take off cover in order to be able to do that. But with that all said, are those reasons enough to not let me buy this drone? Absolutely not. Like I said, this drone is truly amazing, and I'll be getting this drone again. As you can see, this is the battery that it comes with, and this battery is really very good. And like I said, I personally am not getting the Mavic 3 Pro. I'm not going to be paying those huge sums of money for just a minuscule adjustment. If you even truly want that 1-inch sensor look, and probably you want to fly in low light, or you actually want to do lots of color grading, then I'll even advise that you go in for the Mavic 2 Pro, which is the same body build as this. The only difference is that that one has a little bit of a bigger camera in front, which doesn't zoom, but it's also more targeted at professionals because you are able to shoot in log and do lots of things on that particular drone. So would I advise that you get this drone? Absolutely yes. And like I said, if you are an intermediate between professional and beginner, you can get this drone. If you're a beginner, you can get this drone. At the same time, if you're a professional, you can still get this Mavic 2 Zoom drone, because the possibilities are endless with this drone. Thank you so much for watching. If you are seeing my face for the very first time, welcome. This is the African Amaze channel. We talk about cinematography, photography, editing, and all its related branches. If you have any further questions, you can leave them in the comment section below or DM me on Instagram at OBL_junior, and I will gladly respond to every single one of your messages. If you did get a ton of information out of this video, I'll do much appreciate it if you do click on the like button, because it goes a long way in helping other people discover this channel on YouTube. And like we do it on this channel, as always, guys, until next time, keep practicing filmmaking. Peace out.